Hey guys, here are the timestamps for the video. I hope you all enjoy. To go and start off, I just want to state that I've done both glitchless and any percent records, and I really enjoy the game, and I love it to death. And there aren't really any comprehensive guides out there, so I'm really hoping to put that out today for y'all. Alright, we're going to go and set up here. So first thing you're going to do is go down to resources here. Go and click on the start save file. And go and save that wherever. We're going to just drag that zip file to the desktop. And basically what this file is going to do for us is it's going to let us start after the long intro cutscene, so we won't have to go through any of that. Now, go ahead and go up to the top right where your Windows button is. And type in %appdata%, all one word, then hit enter. Now once you're in here, go and take one step back in your folders, go to App Data, go to Local, and now you're going to find the Hellblade game folder. Once you find that, go into Saved. Now go to Save Games, and go and delete whatever you have in here. And drop in the brand new zip file that you just downloaded. So once you drop it in, go and right click it and hit extract here. And now that the save file is in, you're good to go. Next thing we're going to want to do real quick is we're going to want to take one step back into the saved folder. Now you're going to want to go to config, go down to Windows No Editor, and find GameUserSettings.ini. So first thing you want to check is combat difficulty mode. Make sure that's set to easy. That's what all of us runners do on every category. Now go and scroll down until you see 3 lines of code that say that have focus in the middle of them. And you want to go ahead and hit enter after the last line of code with the ActionName focus. And go and paste these 2 lines of code that I have down in the description. Alright, next thing you want to do is go and scroll down. And last thing you want to do in this file is set your frame rate limit to 30. Now, I have seen some runners do 60 frames, but I believe that probably the safest method to use is running the game on 30 frames a second. Even though it might not be appealing to the eyes, I do think it helps with some of the glitches during the game. So go ahead and just file and save that. Now, if you want to change your FOV, you're going to want to go to Engine.ini. And put this line of code in here. I'll also have it down in the description. This basically just enhances your FOV, so it's going to turn it up quite a bit. But if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. But just make sure you hit file and save after you put this line of code in. Alright, so let's go and talk about some glitches. So there's really 2 main types of glitches. The first is called pause breaching. And that's done whenever right before an animation is finished. So like right here, right before Senua gets off the ladder, Thrill UK here, thank you for the video by the way, goes ahead and starts pause breaching with his start button on his controller. And this can also be done on the keyboard by just spamming escape. And what this is doing is he's actually gaining more and more height to do his airwalk, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But you want to keep a constant rhythm, a consistent pace, otherwise you'll drop as you're rising up into the air. So you need to keep a constant rhythm, constant pace. This can be really, really difficult, so I really recommend practicing this. I do a different method, however, for pause breaching, which I'll show you all here in a couple minutes. But for right now, you can see him turn around and start spamming his right trigger, and this is how we used to do it back then. And about a year ago, I think, we found a new method of airwalking that is more smooth and you don't drop as much during your airwalk. So I'm going to go and show you that. So here's a mouse, flip it over. Alright, I'm just kidding. You don't need to go that fast. So you want to keep a really slow pace. It's really important to keep a slow pace. Otherwise, if you go too fast, it might not register the middle mouse wheel as much. So go really slow, and you're going to keep a really consistent and constant pace. And as you can see here, Senua is going really smooth. I have a little bit of difficulty. And you can see these drop points, and each of these drop points indicate a stop in the motion of the mouse wheel. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you my kind of pause breaching that I do. So I'm actually using a controller, and both of my sticks are bound to escape when I move them. So this was probably the easiest method for me to do. I didn't get tired spamming my escape button or my start button, and this is really just overall a much easier, and it was even a faster method for me. So I get to the height I want to here. Now the only issue I'm going to have here is I can't actually look around because I can't use either of my control sticks or I can't use my mouse. So I've developed a new technology that I like to call the foot mouse. Now the foot mouse is very complicated. It is a wireless mouse under my foot that I must control with my foot. Very complicated, as you see here. So I'm going to go and move and turn around with my foot mouse while at the same time doing my airwalk with my scroll wheel. Keeping in mind that you have to do a very slow scroll wheel for the airwalk. And then just keep the control of where Senua is looking with my foot. So this is basically how I do it throughout my entire speedrun. That's probably a little bit more complicated than other runners, but I'll go ahead and show y'all my speedrun. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and start the glitch list here. Sorry, the any percent run here. Now just one thing to keep in mind, I'm going to be skipping around. And the only thing I'm going to be skipping through is the walking sequences, which are just a big waste of time. So it's going to cut that down a lot, and we're not going to go through any of the big cutscenes either. Just another big time waster. So this video is going to be about an hour long, so I'll just be commentating over the glitches and skips here. So I get a pretty good start on here on this off this ladder here. And one thing to keep in mind about the pause breaching glitch is in certain areas like this ladder, it's good to get off at an exact moment in time because you will actually raise faster with each pause breach. So if you start your pause breach a little bit early before, like right when you get off the ladder, you might be going a little bit slow. And a good thing to do is to give yourself a little gap in between your pause breaches. So as you're spamming escape, for me, for example, I'll stop using my sticks, and then I'll use one stick very quickly, and then start the sequence again. And what that's going to do is that's going to put a little gap in between my pause breaches, and that lets Senua go a little bit deeper into her animation that she was doing. And then when that happens, that actually puts Senua in a better spot for me, and she'll raise up more quickly. But so for this first glitch here, you see I'm trying to get all the way over to this door, and this door is a little bit tricky. The only real way to get in is to get above the door right here, and then you can drop down. Just make sure that you pass the door, and then you're good to go. So that was the black rot skit for me. There are some runners do that in a different way. That's probably the fastest way that I've seen so far. So this next part is a little bit tricky. This is probably one of the harder ones that I had to learn myself. So you want to get above this wood frame here, and I gave myself a little bit more leeway to account for the drop points here. So you have to get around that, go through these rocks here, and then you want to cross this big stone pillar to your left, and keep that on your left, and now just go straight right here. You don't want to delineate. It's a lot easier to just go straight. And you'll see Senua hit something here in a second. All right, and she hit the wall. So now we're going to move to the left a little bit, just a little bit. Just keep moving left while you're holding W, or just keep going forward. And then you'll see that little pocket that you come out of. And once you get there, you'll see that you're underground. But the good thing is it will bring you above ground eventually. So now we're onto this door here, and the door skips are actually pretty easy. You just want to go and start the door skip and just start pause breaching like you would on that ladder. There's nothing special about it. You really just start the animation, like here once again. So I did do a little rough on that first pause breach, but it's really no big deal. It's about like a second or two loss. And I did, and you can see here on this door animation, I started way too early, so she was not in the correct position for a pause breach, but I just went with it anyway because I was already committed. You can get stuck in the door if you don't get pushed out far enough when you're pause breaching, and then that'll make you restart the checkpoint. So that's definitely a big no-no. You don't want to do that. We're going to get to the top of this ladder here, and we're going to get to enough altitude here to get to the nest where Valravn is at, and then we can immediately just line up the symbols, and we're done with this area already. So employing my foot mouse here, a little bit difficult. So we'll land in here and then just match it up and we're good to go. Oh, that's so different. So something I want to comment quickly on, and I probably won't talk over much of the combat anymore in this video, but I really like to employ a heavy attack and then probably a rushing light attack. So that's going to be just one heavy attack and then running forward combined with a light attack, which is going to be that piercing animation that you see here. And sometimes I interchange it, so it'll be the piercing and then it'll be a heavy attack. But that's usually the fastest way to knock down any of the small minion enemies. And really for any of the bosses, the best thing you can do is just spam that heavy attack as much as possible. And in some of these cases, some of the bosses, like Valravn here, he'll run away, so it's good to use that piercing animation to charge forward and leap before he runs off. So you'll see me using here that heavy attack and that piercing, heavy, pierce, and he's already dead. I was lucky there. He started swinging. Parrying is so crucial in this game. I do see a lot of people, or a lot of runners who like to parry, or who like to back off a lot instead of parrying. And I feel like parrying is much faster here. And you can see they already got done with Valravn. And what a lot of people don't know is you can parry basically any attack in this game. There are a few that you can't parry, but like where Valravn was charging you here, that was probably a good example of what you can parry, and it's good to try any sort of parry that's possible. Alright, and this section right here is always the hardest for me. I either start too early or I start too late on this little leap right here. And I did have some troubles with this little stone hump right here. And I did get it the second try. And this part is a little tricky with the foot mouse for sure. So I get to the place at the height I need to be. You have to go to the right, go up and some imaginary stone steps, and then you're going to hit the top of that pillar, and you need to go right around it, and then go in about a 10 degree or a 10 to 20 degree angle to the right. And that's going to bring you to the next cert boss area. Now, I went probably 45 degrees to the right in this video. So I delineated way too far to the right, and you'll see here in a second, we're going to be able to see the rendered area of the village here on my left. And then I'm going to have to correct for that, and that's definitely maybe a 5 to 7 second time loss, but it's all right. Jeez, there's so much that's gone wrong.
Yeah, just don't pause it anymore.
So keep in mind you can't drop down right below me right here. You have to do the gate patterns. I tried dropping down there one time and just doing the fire symbol and then attempting to run up to the boss, but it's not actually possible to initiate the fire symbol until you open these doors. So that is something you have to keep in mind. One big thing I see runners not utilize a lot is when they're looking at the symbols or characters. For example, right here, I match the symbol and then I'm done, and I don't stay on it. And a lot of the runners stay on it for the full like animation where the symbol diffuses off. So it's good to do it as fast as possible. Usually, for example, I'm going to come up to this house here and you'll see me do it again. So I'll match the P and immediately let go, and the P is still on my screen while I'm turning around, but it's alright because the P does diffuse away. This takes a little bit of practice. It's really easy to do. You just want to make sure that you hear the audio cue when that happens. So I'm going to do it one more time here for you. So you see the symbol kind of do a little stutter, and that means that the symbol is registered already, and you can go and pull off. So that is something that I just see other runners do, and I think they could definitely improve on that. So that's a really good way to save just a little bit of time, maybe a good half second. But we'll go ahead and activate this here, and then get to cert.
And I kind of freak out because some of the settings I'm like, am I gonna blow like an LED out or something? Like one of the ripple effect. Some of the other things are just crazy, but. Just gotta remember to save focus until right before he starts charging. In the ground, of course. Not. You gotta remember it, because if I don't, I'm screwed.
Alright, so I forget to dodge that first attack. And he's going to stomp. I'm affected by that. I'm going to go ahead and go focus here. That's going to let me get a bunch of heavy attacks in on him. Now the sword piercing, that's going to affect you a little bit, but you can run up as he's charging right here. Now this next animation, where he raises his hand right there, you want to focus immediately when he starts raising his hand. And what that's going to do is that's going to pull off his animation so that you can go ahead and attack him some more. So then you want to go and just focus again and just start bashing into him. And you're done.
We're good.
So Cert is probably the easiest boss in the game by far. But yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to the next glitch here.
Like in the middle of the keyboard. Like just rolling waves, I guess. Alright, let's not mess this up like last time. I don't need that much air right here. Where's my controller? Oh my gosh.
So you just want to get to the top of this ladder here. Start doing your pause breaching. Get to about the top of this building here, and I went a little bit higher, but that's all right. I'm just trying to account for my drop points. And then you want to line up with the left side of the roof of the building right under me, as you see here, and just go straight that way. And pretty much just don't delineate, just keep going straight here. and it's gonna be it's gonna take a little bit of time to get to where you need to be, but you're good to go at this point. Just keep a constant scrolling method on your scroll wheel.
Just not drop. Can't drop. Can't drop. Oh, okay. So you think people will... Do you know like a Reddit maybe? People will set up? They have a bunch of their own.
So basically, once you hit these Y crosses on your left, you're going to want to just find the third cross and kind of follow that and just keep heading straight the way that you were heading originally.
Gizmo! Oh, we're good. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, just gotta remember. Get past the second beam and then drop slowly.
And now you're going to be back to the gate area here. Now, I can't stress this enough. There's going to be 3 major points here. One, you're going to have the first, second, and third pillars. You're going to want to get past the second pillar. Now, once you get within the range of all these pillars, your game is going to de-render everything. So you're going to have to keep in mind where you are and where you're trying to get to. Now, if you get before the second pillar, what's going to happen is you're going to drop down and you're going to land. But the issue is you're going to have to go through a mini fight sequence with a few minions. So you don't want to be doing that. You want to get past the second post here and in between the second post and the gate. Otherwise, if you go past the gate or past the third pillar, you will most likely fall through the world, which is not what you want to happen. Or you could go straight through the gate and fall through the bridge on the other side. So it's not what you want to happen. If it does happen, you can just go back to the main menu and hit continue again and go back and restart the glitch. But I did it here on here. But I did it here on this glitch.
And you don't know if you've gone through the... Pretty good.
So this guy right here is probably one of the easiest mini bosses to beat. Some people like to call him Squidward, whatever. But basically, you can just heavy attack on this guy the whole way through, and you'll basically kill him very fast. So I'm going to get up here and show you real quick. So he's going to do his first swing to just dodge that. And I accidentally hit a light attack here, so that's not what you want to do. You go ahead and use your focus here, and just spam the heavies into him. And he's already dead. So you just want to get through these guys here, and then you can get through the bridge. Now, I kind of lose track of what I'm doing here when I'm fighting the shield guy. And probably the easiest way to kill these shield guys is just to kick them or ram into them and then start attacking. So I'm not really sure what I was thinking there. But we'll go ahead and open this door here, and we can go right through this this gate right here. So just start your animation and then go ahead and start pause breaching. And again, just make sure you're all the way through any of these doors that you pause breach through. So make sure that you can see Sanu on the other side and you're good to go.
Dang, that's a lot of time, huh? There you go. Oh, I thought I was already on 33. Dang. Holy cow, dude.
So I'm going to skip through this next beach section here because you're basically just following Dillion. Nothing really big here. But I will show you eventually on this beach, you're going to run up to another gate here. And you want to go under the docks right here. Head to the right, and you're going to see a ladder on your right side. And once you get to that ladder, you'll climb up it and start another pause breach, as you'll see here in just a second. So I actually messed up this pause breach, but it's no big deal because you can just go right back down the ladder and then start your hop off animation again, and you're good to go. So we're gonna get to about the top of this stone door here, and I'm again giving myself more leeway and getting a little bit higher just to account for the drop points. So, and now we'll just turn around and head straight towards the Tree of Death. So this is actually a really funny glitch because once you get over the water mass, your whole screen is going to go completely pitch black, other than the Tree of Death. So you'll see this little blue light in the center of your screen. That's the bottom of the tree. So that's a really good way to actually keep track of where you're going, no matter what. So we'll eventually cross this body of water, and then we'll be able to see everything rendered once again. And simply we'll just drop down to the tree, and we're good to go. So this section here, you have the 4 trials that you have to pick from: the Labyrinth, Blindness, Tower, and Swamp. I like to start with Labyrinth, which is going to be to the right of the tree. Some people, many of the other runners, like to start with Blindness, and then Tower, Swamp, and then Labyrinth for last. There's really no big difference between the 4. It's either Labyrinth or Blindness first, but I personally just like Labyrinth first because I think the path is going to be a little bit faster. But for the Labyrinth section here, I actually have a guide right here I'm going to pop up here in a second. And the pattern is going to be left, right, right, red door. And that's just going to be the cave entrances that you're going to be wanting to go through. So we just went left, now we're going right. When you go left one more time right here, and then to the right, and then we'll just hug the right wall, basically, until we get to the red door. So there's really nothing hard at all about this section. So we'll get through this.
I always have a string of doubt if I'm going the right way or not. I have a pattern written down. It's never failed me, but every time I go left, right, and then I'm on the right side, every time I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't feel right. But it is. So freaking, I lose my mind. Oh, she's got the energy, I'm gonna tell you right now. She's got another hour to go. She's got the energy. Nice. All the PBs. I need to stop doing that. It's so bad.
So, trial of blindness is by far the easiest trial that there is. You basically do the same route as you would glitchless. You just need to learn the route really, and you can follow along here if you'd like to. But blindness is really just about maximizing your movement in this trial. So no big glitches at all. You just have to get through this trial. It takes a little bit of time, but yeah.
So we got 1, 2. We have about 5 more glitches to do. And basically lasts throughout the run as well. So let's hope that doesn't happen. I don't know why I just started thinking about that. Now that I think about it, it's really bad actually. I should always keep spare batteries, or at least keep it plugged in, but I don't know where the cable is for it. Actually, I might be able to use my old phone cable. But that, dude, that'd be so bad. Something about it. Water. Water. That section makes me wonder if like they actually change every time. They have a little bit of an opening, but they actually change. They start in different areas. I should make like a test and do it like about 5 times and see if it's just straight shot pretty much or not. I think that goes for the entire blindness trial, because I don't really know. I don't really know if like you can just do a straight shot in both the sections or not.
I want to tell you a story about a god of the north.
Alright, and so the trial of tower is actually pretty simple as well. You just gotta make sure to go ahead and knock down this bridge, look through the face real quick, and then you're gonna have to go on transition and do that again on the same side, and then activate the face once again, and then you can finally go up and go through the door. If you try and do it right now, even though you have a stairwell up to the gate, you can pause breach this gate, but the issue is in daytime, the gate right behind it is going to be locked. So you're not going to be able to do anything else. You're going to be stuck in there and you have to restart. So you have to make it daytime, then you have to go back down here, knock this other bridge down, and then make it nighttime once again, and you can finally go up and get past the gate.
I hope he loves me. Otherwise, what am I doing? Wasn't even lined up, but it worked. Hey.
So we'll go and just go up these steps here, and we don't have to do any of these puzzles up here. We can go right through the gated door and just do another simple pause breach. And I did it way too late, so it didn't make any effect. So we're gonna go and try that again, and there we go. Much faster now.
Small mistake, no big deal. It's alright. Spare a few seconds.
Dillian never much cared for the underworld, and looked dimly upon the druids, like her father, Zinba. I guess he took after his father, a chieftain who believed nothing he couldn't see, and he happened to be blind. She felt safe in Dillian's arms, learned to see the world through his eyes, slowly.
I also wonder if once you start falling, it does actually slow you down. I think it does a little bit.
You're going to fall carefully.
So many things I'd like to test.
You can do it, Simon.
Let's go. Let's mosey on out. Nice. To Lion, I'm coming.
With your warrior dress. The name will have the stench of rot. She must taste it. Decent?
It's gonna be hard to beat my PB on this section. I did really well the first time.
So one spring day when she went to the river with Dillian and the others. To the water. She could taste the rot. No one else could. She knew something was wrong. Something sinister. She begged them to leave, but they just laughed at her. But soon enough, as the bodies piled up, no one was laughing. And they knew that she was not like that.
So we're gonna go and just do these normal puzzles like you would in any glitchless run. And once we get up to this ladder here, we're gonna do another pause breach. And this method, I believe, it was actually found by Mr. Hades. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but Hades was actually had a much faster method than the first placeholder. So we're gonna go and show you that here. So instead of dropping down in front of the house and then going in once we pass this bridge, Hades actually found out that you can go through the roof here and get directly to where you need to be and get in front of this marked door and go and start the maze. Now the maze is not difficult at all. I found a map. I don't know who to credit it to. I just found it online. I'll have the map down in the description for you to download. But the map basically just takes you through the maze in most likely the fastest possible route. So I go ahead and just follow this map. I always keep it up on another monitor while I'm doing a Hellblade or on. It's really useful, really nice. I've never died using this map before. Another thing with the symbol matching, again, you don't need to keep your focus on the symbol for the entire duration of the animation. You can keep your focus on it right until the light goes out. Now, once the light goes out, you can let go and just keep going. So you can see here on this last symbol, the light goes out and I start running. You don't need to stay there for the entire animation. So that just saves a second or two.
I was alright. I probably wasted a second or two.
With glamour reforged, you will have Odin's blessing to walk a goddess into the halls of Helheim and challenge Hela as an equal.
So Dillian was helping me. And his sword will lead me to him. Like when we first met, Mr. Warrior Trials.
So I don't know if that time is actually accurate or not. I think it might be actually. Yeah, no, it should be. But I have all my times removed because last run I messed up my timing on my splits. So I just wiped them. So this time I have to actually remember how to
You will pay a price for this.
do this.
They're coming
All right, and do combat just like usual. And I think probably the fastest way you can get through these ghost guys is to do a quick parry, and then you'll be able to actually start attacking them. I might be actually, I might be wrong actually. You might be able to start attacking them immediately since you have the your brand new sword. But I do believe the fastest way is just to parry, and then that'll allow you to start attacking these dudes.
Over the ones I love. The ship broke up under me. Shepherds sing the shining fields. Their memorial stone is sacred. Come not here in the sun. Come not with a sword. Come not crying over a naked corpse. Come not disturbed.
Does your precious gift of sight let you see the souls that rot here in this sea of corpses? Do you feel the blood running cold on your skin? Do you hear their endless cries? Do you smell their putrid wounds? Hello, once brothers.
So at this point with your new sword, you basically, it's a one-hit heavy attack on most of the small guys. Again, we have the squid guy, as you see there, and I just blow through them with heavies. Heavies are so important during these runs.
On the Father, Zimbo, you turned your back on the gods and let the gods have on your people. Why must they pay for your heresy?
Alright, so big thing, once you finish that first fight sequence in the Sea of Corpses, you want to make sure to find this upside down V-shaped rock. That's where you're going to be wanting to run through. That is really important to keep in mind, that where you're going to be going in these next sequences. Because I have actually turned around in a glitchless run, and I went the exact opposite way of where I needed to be going. And it can get really confusing in the Sea of Corpses, so it's really just important to know where you need to be going next and where the exits are. So that's going to be the first exit for you.
She too doubted the gods and let the darkness impress her. But she didn't run. She escaped the illusion. She gave her life to the gods. The world would have been spared this horror. It's not too late. She's calling for you. Why don't you join her?
This second sequence in Sea of Corpses was a little bit rough for me. I could have done quite a bit better on our combat, but it wasn't too bad.
Why do you still fight on? You should suffer your brethren in this war and let your blood sink into the seas of the worst hell. Isn't that what you deserve from the war you've done? The darkness that conceals the sorrow destroys it. Why are you fighting for someone who is already dead?
Alright, so we're done with that. Now you want to find this little ramp that I marked with red here. This ramp is going to be your next exit point. Make sure not to get turned around here. You want to find this little stone ramp, and you're good to go. All right, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready. Oh shoot, why? Last big ladder skip coming up. Huge ladder skip. All right, so we're about to start one of the last ladder skips, the second to last ladder skip actually, and this is probably one of the biggest ones, the most important ones to do. It might not be as challenging as some other ones, but this is definitely one of the biggest. So we'll go ahead and get to the top of these rocks here, and then I'll talk to you here in a second. All right, so first important thing to keep in mind, once you get up here, you're going to want to turn about 20 degrees to your right and head directly that way. And keep on this route. Try not to divert any other direction. You want to just keep going through here. Then once you find these 4 pillars, then in this big square, in this big wood square, you want to go to the right and go straight around it. And then basically follow that arrow that I have put on the screen here. And it's gonna be black for a second, and you're gonna get out and you're gonna see 2 big black squares. So you're gonna want to go to where about this blue area, this blue arrow is here in this first big square. And just keep going straight here. You're gonna be clipping through all this stuff, don't worry about it. And you'll eventually reach this point here, and this is a straight shot pretty much. So you're gonna aim to the left of this big stone circle here. And you just want to keep on going that way. You're gonna see a bunch of stuff pop up on your screen, all these weird texture bugs, but it's all right. So just keep going this way. Make sure that you're hugging the left side of this structure here. Make sure, try not to get into it. You might be colliding with some stuff. All right, so it's gonna be completely black now. Just keep that scroll wheel moving. and you'll eventually see all these textures pop up. You want to head immediately right, and you're going to try to get to this stairwell right here. And the way you enter it is you need to get onto the top and drop in from the top, and you're done. So that's a really good one to practice. Definitely recommend practicing that one quite a few times before you do it. Just get comfortable with it. But we're finally going to come up on the final pause breach here. We're going to get to the top of the ladder and then get just a little bit above the Helheim gate. So we'll go ahead and start the pause breaching here. I should have done a little gap right here just to speed up Senua's rising altitude, but I've pretty much committed at this point because my last run I actually came up too short and I wasn't able to do it, and I lost a minute, and that costed me 4 seconds off the world record at the time. So I wanted to make sure that I got high enough for this run. So I definitely overcompensate, and I waste maybe like 4 to 5 seconds on this. But I get to the point where I want to get my foot mouse ready, turn right here, and we can go in and skip the whole gate, get behind it, and we are going to have to activate the white area right here. So we'll get over here. You don't have to worry, these things, you don't collide into them. Just make sure that you get above the bridge and lay on top of it.
that even I can't see.
Yes.
I'm not here to fight my past. I'm here for doing.
So again, you do have to activate this white circle area right here, otherwise the ending won't initiate. So I'm going to skip that animation, just walk up to here, and you're good to go for the boss.
It's not like the old stories, is it? The noble warrior facing evil in search of victory and honor. Clear dividing lines.
You are a lie! She didn't defy the gods. She defied you. And so you killed her.
You didn't pray to the gods. You prayed to your mother. Your mother, who was
Alright, so we got the boss sequence here. There's no more glitches in the game. It's going to be combat. I did have a pretty rough time on the second stage of combat. For this first stage was alright. And I'll show you something really cool in this game here in just a few seconds. Alright, so as you can see here, I actually get a little chain attack. Chain attacks are so useful. And it usually happens whenever you have a little clump of enemies right in front of you. And that's basically me just holding down or spamming the heavy attack while holding my forward control down. And that really lets you blow through a bunch of enemies very quickly.
You're a liar and a murderer. And if you really are Hela, then I have a sword here that can kill a god.
look at you. Running forward, moving backwards to one looking for the past. You're making a mistake searching for the end. The same mistake that killed him in the first place.
Now we're going to move on to the second stage here, which is going to be cycling through some of the bosses that we previously fought in the game. I had a really rough time with this one for some reason. I probably could have gotten sub 140 if it weren't for this section right here. So at this point in my gameplay, I'm kind of just getting ready to finish it. I'm kind of spamming my Y a little bit too much. I should have been a lot more careful here. Trying to just wait to get to the right moment. I parry that way too early. Luckily I get that parry off, and now I start sledging in my Y attacks. And once again I'm botched down. Way too early parry again. Really, really rough. Could have done a lot better on this. Now I'm getting my Ys in, getting those heavy attacks in, and I'm done.
Heresy! You're trying to trick me again with your lies.
So now this last section is literally just running up to this last stage, letting these guys spawn, and letting them kill you as fast as possible. There's a few theories and things that people have tried for this method. People have tried turning up their difficulty right before they go into this section right here to hard, just to make them kill you faster. But it seems that overall, there's one line that that one of the voice actors gives, and that seems to be when the game will actually allow you to die. So this is probably a good 30 to 40 seconds of wasted time here at the end that you can't really avoid. And now my screen goes black and I'm done. So I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I really hope I could help you guys, and if I can help you all in any way possible, please comment and I'll totally get back with you as soon as possible. But yeah, thank you so much. I really look forward to you guys beating some of my records here so I can come back and try and beat y'all. So have a really good day. I hope you all enjoy the video.